From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Overall, it's been a really nice Wednesday across mid-Michigan thus far. Temperature-wise this morning, a few areas were on the cooler side of things. Upper 40s, the temperatures we were waking up to over in Charlotte, Jackson, and Marshall. We did warm up rather nicely, though, because of the amount of sunshine that we had in place throughout the day. Currently, we're sitting at 81 degrees in Lansing and Charlotte, 84 your current temperature in Mason. We're down to 82 thus far over in the city of Coldwater. Satellite and radar still going to keep us dry and mostly clear as we go throughout the overnight hours tonight. Eventually, we will be talking about the chance for rain as we move into the weekend. Temperature-wise, though, we're still going to be really nice. Speaking of overnight, we're only cooling down into the mid to low 50s yet again. More 80s to talk about as we go into the day tomorrow. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
Vice President J.D. Vance pays a visit to Howell to promote President Trump's economic plan. It's our top story at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Vice President J.D. Vance was in Howell today in support of President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, which was signed into law in July.
6 News reporter Zach Prees was in Howell all day and at the event. He joins us now live to explain what the VP's message was and what voters said. Good evening, Zach.
Thanks. Vice President Vance spoke on a variety of topics today, anywhere from political violence to keeping jobs here in the United States. And he says that the Trump administration is doing a great job of keeping those jobs on home soil.
Why are good jobs going to China when American workers deserve good jobs right here at home? And the answer was bad leadership.
Vice President Vance told the Howell crowd that American jobs need to come first, especially when it comes to the auto industry. And as for Trump's crime crackdown, Vance claimed some American cities, like Detroit, could benefit from having the National Guard deployed and blamed Democrats for demonizing law enforcement.
You have a choice between somebody who tried to fight for the illegal aliens and somebody who tried to fight against the drug cartels. You've got a choice between somebody who is trying to get good law enforcement officers to be able to do their job and those who demonized our cops and demonized our National Guardsmen.
Joseph Riker is a township clerk from Brighton and attended the rally. He says he agrees that big cities could use a little help from the feds.
Everybody goes to these bigger cities, and while I love Detroit a lot, I think like any city, I don't think that's just here in America. It's like, you shouldn't be out after midnight, you shouldn't be doing this. But it's not only that, we still have issues in our major cities that we don't see here in our smaller towns. And they have to feel safe. They're known for their crime, and I think in order to turn that around, you have to be hard on crime when it comes to that and support the police there. And having the National Guard there as a presence, completely understandable.
Vance also spoke out against political violence only 1 week after the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Utah. A local told me he feels like the vice president is trying to unite the country.
I think the biggest takeaway I get from it is the true patriotism that we get from that, which is very similar to the military. So after time in the military, they really enforce the patriotism of your country and coming together as a brotherhood and sisterhood.
Vice President Vance also told the Michigan crowd today that he promised to never stop fighting for auto workers' jobs here in Michigan. He says that a push for electric cars has actually led to less jobs available for auto workers here in the United States. Here for you in Howell, for 6 News, I'm Zach Prees.
All right, thank you, Zach. Staying with political news, a congresswoman from Michigan wants to lower grocery store prices. Democratic U.S. Representative Haley Stevens announced new legislation known as the No Tariffs on Groceries Act.
What my bill does is it says that this president cannot put in place blanket tariffs on countries for food without congressional approval.
Stevens went on to say, quote, when it comes to putting food on the table, when it comes to feeding yourself, no president should be able to act alone without oversight or authorization, end quote. Inflation rose in August, impacting the price of gas, groceries, and airfares.
There was more emotional debate today in the wake of the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, this time it took place in the Michigan Senate, where the political right and left exchanged words.
Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic reports.
Yesterday, supporters of conservative Charlie Kirk spoke on the Capitol lawn. Everybody was on the same page. Not so much this day in the Michigan Senate, as the debate shifted to conservatives and liberals. President Trump has gone after the political left in the wake of this loss of life, and this conservative state senator joined in that criticism.
Mr. President, for years, the radical left has compared Americans like Charlie Kirk to Nazis and to the world's worst mass murderers. This type of language is directly responsible for the terrorism we're seeing in our country today. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and have taken too many lives. Conservatives will not be intimidated.
This Democratic state senator counters, it is time to lower the political temperature in our state, adding this.
We're trying to bring the temperature down on all sides, and that kind of speech doesn't do it. But what else is unacceptable is to stand up and again say the far left, conservatives will not be intimidated.
Another Democrat denounced this loss of life and then added this aimed at her Senate conservative colleague.
Not to blame the other side, not to stoke hate and division and anger and fear. This was a horrific murder that we saw play out. We each have a responsibility to bring this state and this country together.
Senator Bellino did not respond to the criticism, and no other conservatives spoke, and the Senate adjourned for the day. Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Earlier today, the Community Mental Health Association of Michigan held its Walk a Mile in My Shoes rally at the state capitol. The rally featured former U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow as a keynote speaker and several other Michigan legislators, advocacy agencies, municipal leaders, and labor leaders. All voiced their opposition to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The rally also highlighted the importance of accessible mental and behavioral health care for all Michigan residents.
Legislature can always stop or pause anything. And so it'd be so great for the legislature to say, time out. Absolutely. We have all these federal cuts coming we're trying to figure out. Yeah. And we feel this is not the time to make some radical change. So let's just take a pause.
The National Alliance on Mental Illness reports nearly 23% of U.S. adults experience mental illness each year.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
For the past several days, we've been treated to some really nice, dry, sunny, and summer-like conditions here in mid-Michigan. In fact, temperatures that we saw across the area today are usually closer to what we typically see in July. So make sure you go outside like our friend Bruce here over in Langsburg and just enjoy some of the nice weather that we have in the forecast. Speaking of Bruce capturing this beautiful picture on the lake in the background there, you can see that water reflecting the gorgeous sunset just behind the horizon. Remember, you too can see your picture right here on 6 News every evening. To do so, just go to our website, WLNS.com/share, and you can upload your picture then. We still have a lot of dry weather and sunshine in place across mid-Michigan this evening. However, you will notice that we do have a system trying to develop to our west. The good news is this system is incredibly slow moving, so it will take some time to arrive, but eventually it will bring us the chance for a couple of scattered rain showers, maybe a few thunderstorms as we go into our Sunday afternoon and evening. Notice rain chances still stay relatively elevated even as we move into early next week. The rainfall is definitely needed across mid-Michigan, and it looks like we'll pick up on a pretty healthy dose. 5-day rainfall forecast shows rainfall totals across parts of the area could be anywhere between ½ an inch, possibly as much as 1.5 inches if we're able to develop enough instability to generate a couple of isolated thunderstorms. But again, that's not expected to happen until we get into the second half of the weekend. Until then, well, we're repeating more of the same. Dry weather and sunshine still in the forecast as we move into our Thursday. Late Thursday afternoon, there will be some lingering moisture trying to make its way into the region. As a result, there will be around a 10-15% chance that we squeeze out an isolated sprinkle throughout parts of mid-Michigan. However, most of us should stay completely dry. We're holding on to those dry conditions even as we move into our Friday. Cloud cover, however, will be slightly heavier, but still partly cloudy conditions in the forecast by then. It's another gorgeous evening across mid-Michigan. Notice outside at the Capitol, widespread sunshine sunshine in place. Temperatures today topping out near 82 degrees, currently sitting right at 81 after waking up to temperatures mainly in the low 50s here in Lansing and Grand Ledge. Grand Ledge, high of 84 degrees reported for our Wednesday. Another beautiful and sunny view this evening over in Jackson. Temperatures this morning cooled down into the upper 40s. However, we were still really impressive with highs of 83 degrees. Our final stop over in the city of Hillsdale, again, still incredibly sunny temperature-wise, currently sitting right at 79 degrees. The 6-day forecast shows tomorrow still going to be another gorgeous day, 86 degrees for our forecasted high temperature. And then we get a very weak cold front moving in. That'll cool us down just slightly, upper 70s Friday and Saturday, which is still well above average for this time of year. Then we have 3 days of rain to talk about, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Following that, though, well, it looks like we're in another repetitive, really nice weather pattern. Sunshine, high still in the 70s.
Oh, man, it's all just so nice.
I know. I think you said it yesterday. September to remember.
Absolutely.
That's what we're in right now.
Yeah.
How special.
I know. Thanks. She said that about my forecast too, Norm. I was very flattered.
I love how you're taking credit too.
I take credit for all the good weather.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you and David too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kendall.